In this video, I'll be showing you how to vinyl wrap the back of your aquarium. Hi there, welcome to my channel, Reef Gang. So today I really would like to show you guys how to vinyl wrap the back of an aquarium. I purchased 3M vinyl wrap. It's just like a glossy black, looks very good. And one thing I've found out with vinyl wrap is that it is so nice, especially when you want to remove it. In the past, I've always painted tanks with Krylon Fusion. It's worked out really well, but if you're trying to sell a tank or you want to switch things up, it's more of a permanent solution. With vinyl wrap, you're able to easily heat it up and peel it off, or not even necessarily heat it up since it is on a glass. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Before we go ahead and proceed any further, one thing I really need to do is there's a lip right here. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's this like little lip. That needs to be dremeled off in order for my in-tank skimmer to actually sit the way I want it to. I placed the holes on the back of the tank kind of high just because I run a open top tank and I really wanted the water level to be as high as I can. So that means we just need to dremel that down a bit, which is not a problem. Alright, so I went ahead and marked my lines on here. I have a line right about here and right about here. So we'll go ahead and start cutting that. All I'm using is a Dremel that has a cutting wheel on it, and hopefully that'll get the job done. Now that we have that part done, we go ahead and start vinyl wrapping. This is everything that I use for when I vinyl wrap aquariums. We have a tube of 3M vinyl wrap. It is gloss black. It is from a company called Metro Restyling. Then we have, of course, safety glasses, safety first, a utility knife, box utility knife, scissors, and a heat gun. And this is everything that I like to use when vinyl wrapping the aquarium. I already cleaned the aquarium off, but we'll go ahead and just wipe it down now. Just get any loose debris, dust, hair, whatever it may be off of the tank, just to make sure that it is completely clean. But I always recommend to absolutely wipe it down with vinegar. That way we're not using any harsh chemicals. Okay. Alright, so now that that's done, we'll go ahead and get the vinyl out and lay the vinyl over, figure out where we need to cut for a proper size, and go from there. Okay, so here is the vinyl, just a gloss black. And you can't see the inside because it does have a protective wrap. It is very nice to use. So what we're going to do is just lay this over the tank, get a rough estimate of where we need to cut, and then we'll cut it and start fitting it a little bit better. we'll go ahead and cut this top part now because there is a lot of excess up here. And now we're ready to get going. So what I'm going to do is just basically, if you take the end of the vinyl, you can peel it up until it splits like that. And I'm going to work from one side and kind of work my way in. Okay. So what we're going to do is just lay this down, and as we're laying it, we're trying to work out bubbles. That way we don't get any really large ones. And then as we keep going and we get everything down, we'll then go in, heat it up, try to work out some of the micro bubbles. And as you can see on this, I am mainly just using my fingers for now. A lot of people will use like squeegees for window tint. And the company I purchased this from, if I believe so, for a little bit of money extra, they will actually give you like a squeegee kit with a razor blade and stuff like that, so you can apply it. I believe this is intended for automotive use, but a few years ago I tried it this way for the aquarium background, and it really came out nice. So I've been doing that ever since. So now we're just trying to work out as much as we can as far as the air bubbles. This side looks pretty good. This side there is some air bubbles. So now we're just trying to push those to the nearest place. Okay, so now that we have most of that done, we'll go ahead and grab the heat gun. And just kind of heat it up and work out what we see. As you can see, I'm not leaving on any set area for a long amount of time, because you will burn through the vinyl. Just kind of doing just quick passes with it. And in the cases that you do not get all of the air bubbles out, something to keep in mind is that the rock work will cover them from the inside, as you will see a little bit of like a little line or bubble, whatever it may be, and the rock work usually covers that up. In the case that does not, one thing to keep in mind is that as this vinyl wrap settles, it will adhere a lot better to the tank. It just takes, I usually recommend people about 3 weeks before it'll start really settling in. I just wrapped my Fluval 5-gallon on the side, and you see that in a previous video. There was a couple air bubbles, really small, and it's been about a week now and they're almost gone naturally. So that's just something to keep in mind. Alright, so right now we're just going to go ahead and trim it. It's still not perfect, but I want to go ahead and cut everything out. That way, when we go to really clean it up, make it look perfect, it looks good. So I'm just running the blade along the rim of the tank. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but all of this whiteness right here, this light color, basically that just shows where we need to press down. So if we just kind of work at it, it will go out. You can see it kind of fading out right there. And that's just where it'd be really nice to use a squeegee or something like that. But yeah, you can see that one just disappearing right there. But yeah, that just shows where we need to push. And like I said, over time, as the vinyl wrap settles, that will disappear. By the time I have fish or anything in this tank, that will be completely gone. So we'll go ahead and start trying to fine tune that right now. Getting everything smoothed out, I have it to where it is behind me. It looks very good. I think after about a week or so of it actually setting up, I think it'll look great. So we're gonna leave it at that right now. It should be great, but hopefully this video was a little bit informational. I do want to add one thing. Paint, there's pros and cons of rather than painting a tank to vinyl wrapping. Paint, instant, perfect results. Just let it set up, cure, and go on. However, it's a little bit more difficult to get off. Often I've used razor blades to try to scrape it off and everything like that. So that's kind of a, you know, pros, cons of that. But vinyl wrap, I like it because to get it off, I just need to heat it up and I can peel it off. I can peel it off without heating it up, but it's a little bit more difficult. Heating it up just makes it a lot easier. And so if I want to change this vinyl wrap, let's say I want to add blue. A blue background, give it some more depth, it would look great. So I kind of like that part of it. However, the results are not perfect right off the bat. There is some like splotches within the vinyl that need to set up, and those will then eventually go away. My Fluval 5-gallon set up vinyl wrapped about a week ago now, and it just now looks perfect. At first, for the first couple of days, there was a couple of splotches in it, and those slowly worked out by themselves. The temperature of the water would actually heat up the vinyl to a fairly good temperature, then it would slowly start to smooth out. But anyway, so hopefully this was very helpful. If you would like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll be glad to answer those.